Good morning, folks. I hope you guys had a wonderful 4th of July.
Today?
No, that was yesterday. I'm sorry.
Wow.
And say hi to my mama. She's right here making PB&Js. Something that is really important to remember if you're caring for any senior citizens. Making sure that they help out with the cooking if you can, if it's possible, because I was reading some studies somewhere. I really need to remember the name of this YouTuber that I saw, but he's basically looks up a lot of the research of different studies that are out there, and one of them is the importance of cooking, because it helps the brain and the body do the little menial tasks, and it helps trigger the brain to remember, to hold on to basic concepts. I didn't quite understand all of it myself, but hopefully I'll remember it, and I'll start referencing back that YouTuber who actually get the data. But yeah.
All right.
For yourself, get into cooking, even if you're a horrible cook. At least once a week, get into just the basic mechanics of making something for yourself, cooking something.
Yeah.
First of all, it's a worthwhile, useful skill. So I'm videoing her for a different channel. We have a little channel just for Grandma.
You'll remember it when I'm gone.
Well, you were cute and beautiful. Yeah, we should have you focus on this one right now. Yeah.
Look at that. Oh, wow. White. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Well, I like my smile.
You do. You have a smile that lights up the room when it's there.
Yeah. And it looks like a little old lady.
Well, we gotta celebrate. You celebrate whatever age you are.
It's so amazing. All right, you got 1, 2, 3, one for everybody.
Yum.
That's for me.
Yeah, that's true. That's good.
All right.
You want to fold them over?
Whatever you like it.
It's a little less messy, I think.
Good.
I'll let you fold the last one.
The last one is still going to come out.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were going to do that, otherwise I would not have put so much.
That's okay. I'm just trying to make it less messy when you eat it. It's pretty much impossible to do.
Okay.
It's going to be messy no matter what.
Well, okay. I'll lick this one.
I mean, I suppose yours way to make it less messy, but what's the fun in that then?
If the tortilla was made in little bundles. But that only can happen if you do it here.
Yeah.
And make the design. I was going to wash this.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm hungry. I think I will have a bite of one of these. Something simple. Not quite PB&J because we don't have bread. Tortillas last a little longer than bread, just in case. Well, not that anything is going to last long around here. Now I've got peanut butter hands. So I wanted to talk about a technique that I tried last night. So there's all kinds of deep tissue techniques out there that involve getting your fists in there, getting your elbows in there. And I used to be a deep tissue massage therapist. Really good at it, because I started when I was 2, learning how to massage people. Other people when they're 2, they sit around running around, and I love to play on people's backs. So I was the person who, I was like, ooh, backs, and there was a whole world supply of backs, and that was how I learned how to connect to people, was while they tell their stories, I would play with their hair or massage their back or their shoulders. And so over the years, I learned a lot. It made me very arrogant when I went to massage school, and I'm like, I already know all this stuff. And for a while there, I did do the rules of the massage school, and then I learned, when I was at massage school, I ended up destroying my arm. Couldn't even use my right arm, couldn't even peel an apple, and a lot of it had to do with really bad posture and body mechanics. So the idea of sitting over a person over 8 hours with a scrunched up, you end up scrunching up the nerves in your neck, and I ended up, I was told at the end of it that I would never be able to do massage ever again, and almost lost the use of my right arm because of all the nerve impingements on my arm, just from horrible posture. So for a while there, I was all really big into learning about correct posture and being able to stand up straight and learning proper body mechanics. But I kept doing deep tissue on my arm to try to heal it, and I ended up making it worse. So I started looking into alternate techniques of connecting to people's bodies and realizing that there's so many other ways of connecting to people's bodies. And I started learning even back at the very beginning. I don't know if anybody has been exposed to something called Rosen method. Go ahead and let her just lay there for a few minutes. In fact, why don't we go ahead and leave the door wide open and let some of the air through. Can you leave the door wide open for me?
Wide open?
Yes, please. I would appreciate it. How wide can you make that door? Thank you.
And something heavier.
Well, let's get a second.
See, because it doesn't hold.
You know there is another one right underneath your bed. Can you get the one that's underneath your bed? There's another one of those containers.
I don't see it.
Just start walking closer to your bed and you'll see it.
I still don't see it.
If
I
you
see a container different than this one.
Yes, you see a silver one. Well, next to the silver one, there's one of those.
Next to the silver,
Yeah.
but it's still slightly
I know
different.
but if you put two of them together, it will hold it.
Maybe.
I promise.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
I just didn't want the door to make a lot of noise. What I want to do is open that window.
Problem is, whenever I start talking to my mom, I always forget my train of thought.
That window open.
Different massage techniques. Deep tissue.
Deep tissue.
So, when it comes to deep tissue, you could end up hurting somebody far worse than you. Are you saying hi to how is mommy? Somebody wanted to know how you're doing.
Who?
I don't know, somebody online. It's I don't know what the person's name. Mr. Aja? Mr. Aja wants to know how you're doing.
Oh, I'm doing fine.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
How are you doing this wonderful morning after 4th of July? Did you have a good 4th of July, Mr. Aja?
I hope you did. Me, I enjoyed it from a distance. Very much so.
Did you see fireworks last night?
Fireworks in my mind. I just knew it. I heard it. I could see it.
Yeah. Power of the mind. It's incredible stuff, huh?
Oh, yes.
You can
Indeed.
be anywhere you want.
Anything you want me to see, I'll get to see it. Oh, how's that? Oh,
Yeah,
my
that's
goodness. Look what you made.
Well, you made that, actually.
Can I have one?
Yes.
Oh, take the
Anyone
big
you
one.
want.
Take the
Thank
big
you.
one.
She's referring to. She made herself some sandwiches earlier. If you started with us, you'll have seen it.
I'm going to sit down and enjoy it.
You're from a country which year is 2083.
21.
I don't know.
What's 2018? High? Low?
All right, let's time out David, because that's not an appropriate comment. I am pretty... Let's delete the comment. And then let's also, yeah, he shows back up. I'll have to get rid of him. All right. I like to be an all-accepting person, but I do have strict standards for my comment section. So if you want to be on the comments on the live, then you have to be considerate of my secular celibate nature. So, and I love sensuality, love bodies, but I do have a problem with the inappropriateness of sexuality on my channel. Oh, no, I don't think for you, Mr. Asha, there was another person that was commenting about other stuff. I apologize to you because that was not referenced to you. It was to somebody else that was on here. So I was on a topic, and I always forget my topic when Mom comes around. Deep tissue. So the dangers of doing deep tissue on people. So last night I was trying out a combination of, right beforehand I just remembered I was starting to talk about Rosen method. So one of the things I was learning is that there is a skill called Rosen method where it's a lot about the body and the mind connection, of the importance of how much of a role your body can play. And I've always known this, as you know, being a massage therapist since for over 50 years, or 40, I guess I'm only 40. I'm 50, but I've been massaging for over 30, 40 years. Anyways, what I learned throughout the years is how much the body and mind play a role, but it really hit home when I came across something called the Rosen method. And if you ever get a chance, I highly recommend finding a therapist who does the Rosen method. I was really impressed by a friend who they just barely touched. She had this knot in her neck, and I mean, I worked on her for hours. She's went to massage school. She had people work on her, all kinds of therapies on her neck, and it would never make a dent because she held it in so tight, all of that stress. And then we went to a conference, and the Rosen Method therapist worked on her for 15 minutes. That was it. All the Rosen Method therapist did was put her fingers on her neck and asked her through questions. And she led the questions in such a way to help address the issues while listening to the muscle. And voila, it was like jello. It was amazing. The muscles just simply relaxed, and it was just so nice and incredible. And it only unfortunately lasted 3 days, because that's what you have to go to the therapy for, is to actually do the deeper work. So a lot of deep tissue is also about mental stuff too. What's going on? That's not good. You go walk over there and bring her back. Thank you. Stretch. Everybody stand up. So this is good morning. In the morning we should all be stretching, right? I will do this to make my shirt a little bit more appropriate. Ma'am is subscribed to. Oh, thank you for subscribing. Yay! Did they wave hi to you? Just gotta keep an eye on everybody and make sure everybody's okay. Hello, Deepal. How do you say it? Deepalik? Campbell. Deepal. E. Campbell.
Yes. The person was dressed like a policeman. When
Probably.
she said hello,
Yeah.
was like
The security. Yeah. The security guard walks around and makes sure that you're okay and everybody's okay.
No. She's female, but I thought he was a male at first.
Oh, that's possible. Okay, standing up. Right.
Yeah,
New comments
bring
and
this in.
distracted. Lots of people saying hello.
Can
Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Can I bring this in?
No, we're going to leave those to keep the door open to let the air flow through right now. Ready to do that?
Yeah.
Who knows, maybe a nice guest will come by and bring you some muffins.
Bring me some what?
Muffins
Muffins?
or cereal. That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Something different.
Or we can go later and get some.
Where?
Sometimes they have them in the morning, but it won't be till later. Right now we're saying hello to people.
Oh, I would love to see what the muffins.
Kitty cat, you better not get in trouble out there. No peeing out there.
What it looks like and what it tastes like.
All right.
And that's a tremendous difference.
It is hard to do this. So, we are celebrating a morning after 4th of July. Happy 5th.
4th of July?
Yeah, that was last night.
I missed it.
And whenever you say hi to people, and when you're by the table, it's a great opportunity every chance you get to lean over and do your own flat back table. Taking advantage of the reminder to stretch your back. So if you gotta stand up, then I hope you will wiggle out your back like that. And I never get to finish my stories. It's so impossible to get my stories all the way through. Anyways, concept of body and mind. Hope you check out a Rosen Method therapist at some point. But taking into account all the Rosen Method, and also taking into account, I don't know if any of you guys have encountered, I'm going to go ahead and do some of my own stretching while I'm talking to you guys. I'm stretching out my calves right now and doing a half push-up against the table and stretching out the thighs at the same time. So one of the things that I encountered recently is I've come across a lot of semantic of trauma release. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen the trauma release. It's really cool to watch because the body sits there and shakes and all the trauma that's been stored in your body gets theoretically released. Now, I don't believe it all gets released. I'm going to have to go in the hallway to keep an eye on this cat, so I'm going to take you with me. Ooh, I got to find out where this cat went. She's not the other way. This way. Yeah, no, sorry. Kitty cat's getting in trouble. Yeah. Don't know where she's heading to. Bring her back. Although I do like the cat, she, it's got to be inspired by this cat. She knows the importance of staying in touch. I'm going to actually take a chance. I've got a wall right here. I'm going to slide down the wall, go into sitting position. But she loves to run up and down the hallways, and she understands the importance of some cardiovascular exercise right here every now and then. Ooh, hello from South Africa. Hi. Okay, sliding down. Oh. And putting legs out in front in the pike position, if you are able to. It's remarkably hard if you're not used to it, to just stay sitting in a pike position. Hello.
Morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm alright.
Good. Enjoy your weather? Yeah, she likes to peek her head out.
Cute.
How are you doing, sweetie? It's okay. So I was telling you a story about a technique that I learned or practiced or experimented with last night. Let me see if I can hold this between my feet and then do this pike. All right. Okay. So, trauma release. So there's the Rosen method on one side of the brain and the body connection and how important psychological stress and traumas are in your body. And then there's trauma release, which believes that the trauma is stored in your body. And then there's breath work. So last night I sat there and did some techniques where all it really was, I don't know how many people watch or do breath work on their own. I highly encourage it, especially if you have any difficulties with emotions, anxiety, anger issues, learning breath control. If you can learn breath control, then a lot of the other issues, if you can self-regulate your breath, then you can self-regulate your emotions. So please, please learn the importance of any kind of breath technique you want to learn. There's millions out there. So the one I was playing with was a concept of where it's a 4-part breath, where you breathe into your lungs, into your belly, and out your lungs, and out your belly. You can also do it where it's into your belly, then into your lungs, out your lungs, out your belly. And you push all the air out. So, oh, cute. I love it when the cat sits like that. It's my favorite position of the kitty cat. Just sort of relaxed and all is safe in the world. Doing the breath work of, let's say, belly breath, belly, lungs, lungs, breath. So it's the opposite of whatever you put in. So something that people forget to do is holding their breath. So the technique that I was trying out last night was filling up my lungs and my stomach all the way as full breath as I could, and then holding it. And when you hold your breath like that, you feel where all the tensions are. And for me, I have issues on my right side, and the psoas muscles, but it was fascinating for me. So I was just holding the breath and kind of triggering my own trauma release of the difficulty of getting my back and stomach. 'Cause that's where I hold all my stresses in my stomach. And so my back and stomach I was just letting it shake out. So that's the important thing about trauma releases, is that if you ever start shaking for whatever reason, maybe your muscle's tired, let your body shake it out, because that is actually one of the most amazing ways of, I'm going to start leaning over so I can stretch. This is really hard to do while you're holding your feet. I'm just holding, just stretching out, gentle stuff. And I hope you do a stretch too, whatever you're doing, some kind of stretch of some kind. But when you're breathing, sometimes you realize that certain parts of your body are more tense than others. And so there is the tendency to tighten up something. And if you hold the breath and then you let the release occur, you'll find that you'll be able to go in that muscle. And I didn't actually work the muscle, I just listened to it, just held my fingers on the spot. And actually, I lucked out. I had my kiddo around, and I had my kiddo hold his fingers on my neck, right there. Just listen, just not any massage, just simple. If you have a partner, and when you're feeling a muscle that is tense, instead of having them massage it, simply have them put their hands on that spot, wherever the spot is, and you practice your breathing exercises of holding your breath, both on the in-breath, holding it for as long as you possibly can, and then very, very slowly letting the breath of air out. And then when it gets where your breath is all the way out, holding it then. If this is really difficult to do, and I don't know how many people can do this, so I highly recommend trying, seeing if you're even capable of doing it, of this breath techniques. And sorry that the camera is shaking. I'm actually using my feet muscles, and it's fascinating as I'm holding this. It is only my right leg that is shaking. That is where all my trauma is stored, is on my right leg. So I'm actually, if you guys don't mind it shaking, I'm going to go ahead and let my foot twitch like that, if you guys can handle the shaking. If not, let me know in the comments and say, please stop the shaking. It's really making me dizzy. Actually, I wonder if I can show you the twitch. Let's see if I can reach the phone. Yes, I can. So I don't know if you guys can see. I've gotten my right leg to start, and it's just simply from a hold. And the theory behind, I don't know if you guys can see this, the theory behind tremors is that, one, it's the muscle being fatigued, which is how I always thought of it. And I always thought of it that maybe one should stop letting, if your muscle is fatigued, then maybe you should stop using that muscle and go relax it. But then there's this this other concept, which is when your body starts shaking for some reason, whatever, let the body shake itself out, because it is actually part of the natural trauma release. Animals all in the wild have it where they, so there's some great videos of some giraffes out there after they've been chased, and if they manage to survive, where they do this massive shakeout. And there's some zebras out there too. So I've seen some videos of giraffes, zebras, and some other animals too, of herbivores that have managed to escape getting eaten, and then their body shakes out completely. And so whenever you see something shaking, to give it that permission to do the full release. And so they say, a lot of these people who are in this trauma release semantics, the argument that I've heard, let's put it that way, I don't know about they, but the argument that I've heard is that the trauma, if you don't shake it out and you don't release it all the way out, that in fact that's when the trauma gets stored in your body. And that's the reason why so many of us have aches and pains. I don't know if I 100% agree with all of this. I do agree that a lot of trauma does get stored in the body. As a massage therapist, there's no way, I don't know any massage therapist who could think that it doesn't get stored in the body, because when you're massaging people and you're working on people, you see them instantly cry just by touching up a spot, because it's giving permission to that spot to be loved and be appreciated. And when you touch a spot often, people are holding the tightness and the tension so much. And I really believe that's what a lot of anger and panic and rage and resentment and any negative feeling, when it's expressed, it's because, this is my belief system, that it's you're trapping it, you're holding on to it for dear life, and then instead of letting it flow through your body, you're acting out on that trauma. Again, this is an opinion, not necessarily. So I'm going to put it here. Hopefully you can still hear me, because I would like to be working on my own body while I talk to you, because I think it's important to take every chance you get to check in with your body. And as long as I'm talking to you, this is an excellent opportunity to help maybe encourage you to also check in with your body, and for me to check in with my body. Now, if we were to do a body mind listening session, where if you wanted to do a Zoom session with me, then it would be about listening to your body, if you're okay with it. That one of the things that I would really like to be allowed to do is get to be on a Zoom session with you and have it where the inspiration of just enjoying stretching whatever stretches you feel comfortable with. Instead of me telling you how to do the stretches, we'll do your normal stretches first. That's way it's unique to each person, what each person does for themselves, how they check in. And if you don't check in, then I'll give suggestions. But having it where we go through and we listen to where the aches are. Now, I've already done a full hour of checking in with myself, so a lot of where my normal aches is, I don't have them as much, especially because I did this cool breathing technique that I was about to tell you guys about. So when I was holding the breath and then releasing it, I found that I was starting to do releasing my stomach and my back muscles, and I was doing a whole shakeout thing. And the thing that I found so cool about this, one, was the awe of how difficult it was to do this technique of holding my breath, both on an in-breath and then very slowly letting it out, and then holding on the exhale, and then very slowly letting it in. That kind of control where it's very slow breaths out and very slow breaths in, by itself is very difficult for many people. I recommend trying it right now while you're listening to me, where See how slow you can breathe in. See if you can take a full 60 seconds. See if you can take a whole minute to breathe in. And then how slowly can you breathe out? Can you take 60 seconds to breathe out? Very few people can do this. Except for unless you're a swimmer or you're an athlete. Some athletes can. So if you're an athlete, you can probably do it. But if you haven't been listening to your body, some people are lucky if they can do a count of 8 breathing in and 8 breathing out. By the way, if you do any stretches of any kind, I do highly recommend breath work as you breathe out into the stretch or as you're breathing into the stretch. Any kind of movement, the breath work is a gentle massage on yourself. So going back to the experience I had last night of doing these holding breaths and then trauma releases during the holding of breath. So something else I would do is that I would contort and in the shaking, and I would crunch up, because that's how I hold my stress, is crunching up in my stomach. And I decided to just hold that stretch for as long as I could. And I found that when I did that, when I held, that eventually it would tire out, and then I would just breathe. So there's 2 parts to it. I would hold the breath, let the trauma release, and in the trauma release, I would scrunch up, and then I would hold that and breathe in that crunch of whatever it was that the trauma had held onto. And just simply in that held state, breathe in as slowly as I could, and as slowly as I could in, and slowly as I could out. By doing that, I'm breathing love and caring and presence, paying attention to whatever it is that is there. Let's try a different one. Okay. I don't know how many people are out there. If you are out there, if you're on the bed or even on the couch, you can do something like this where you just do the butterfly. If you have a chance and you're comfortable, I highly suggest going to the floor, because floors are uncomfortable, and because they're uncomfortable, you do more movement and you do more paying attention to your body. When you're on the couch, it's so comfortable that you actually stop paying attention to yourself. Couches, chairs can be uncomfortable too, but they don't allow for as much stretching. Take a moment to stop talking and just stretch for a second, check in. So I know no one on here that's currently on here was paying attention to the old story, but I was talking about this trauma release. I was in a deep tissue massage that I was giving myself through breath alone. And by holding my breath and holding the trauma contortions and grabbing onto it and just holding until it released out, I found that a lot of the tight areas, then I could go through, and so like there's this tweak that I had in my neck right here, where I massively tweaked it a few weeks ago. And it wasn't a permanent tweak. It was, I would just suddenly randomly move my neck, and all of a sudden it would go, and it would just tweak up very painfully, and then I'd have to stretch it all out. And so when I was in the contortion, I had one of these tweak methods, and when I did the release work, something I found was that the tension, once I got this all loosened up, was I was able to follow it all the way up into, and this is the reason why they recommend in the trigger or a lot of other massages where massaging or just simply pressing back underneath your skull, that little pinpoint back there, and just holding it and releasing it slowly, because a lot of your tensions in your neck are from holding way up high. At least this is something I have found for myself. And this is what they teach in schools. By the way, any information that I teach you, please remember that I am human. I might be remembering things wrong. You need to do your own research. You need to do your own you can check with your doctor if you want, although my personal opinion, a lot of Western doctors don't know much, but they are the people you are supposed to go to for liability and legal reasons. I think the most important thing in my own personal belief system, now, can't sue me because these are my own personal beliefs, I'm not telling you this is what you should believe. I think that, though, we should all learn to explore and listen and learn about our own bodies, and to do it slowly, because you could injure yourself, like the tweak in my neck. The stuff that I was doing in the trauma release and in the breath work, I was doing such things that I did tweak, and if I didn't know to pay attention and relax it by simply just giving it loving and that permission, if I didn't know how to give myself permission to pay attention to myself, then I might have spent the whole rest of the day with a tweaked neck, even months with a tweaked neck or a tweaked back, because I tweaked it and I didn't know how to release it. And so that learning, now you could do it with a therapist like myself, and I'm not actually a certified therapist, so I should never call myself a therapist. I need to make sure to undo that habit. Ex-therapist. You could do it with a friend. How about we phrase it like that? You can do it where you have a friend help you listen to yourself and give yourself permission. So that's what you can do for your friends, is not massaging them, because you can mess a person up. I was about to use a cuss word, sorry. You can seriously damage. You can actually cause a person death if you massage a person incorrectly. And I've heard stories of people who had high blood pressure or some of the contraindications, and they got massaged, and they literally died within a few hours because of the fact that they had contraindications, and I guess the person, and that was actually by a therapist, but I guess they didn't check about the contraindication, or they didn't know at the time of the importance. And so it was actually told to me by a trigger therapist teacher, and their claim was that the trigger points are so powerful that it could cause that. Maybe so. I do know that trigger points, if you are pregnant, please only go to a therapist, massage therapist, that does know about the contraindications, that does know what could trigger a miscarriage, because there are a bunch of spots that could accidentally cause a miscarriage, from pressure points in the calves to pressure points in your neck to just simply triggering a trauma release, and the body expels the trauma and could theoretically expel the baby as well. So do be mindful if you're pregnant. So if you're planning on getting pregnant, do a lot of therapy beforehand so that you have the work done before. If you find out you're pregnant, then please be very gentle, very careful, very slow, very loving with your body, because there's two bodies that you're trying to protect. Of course, I don't know how many people on here are women, but you know, even as men, that you could go and talk to and be mindful and hold these conversations with your pregnant friends. The kitty got closer. I like that, and she's over here next to us. So if anybody on here would like to do a Zoom call, personal, and it's not necessarily for education, it's not necessarily coaching, because as I said, I'm not a certified therapist anymore. I decertified myself, or however you want to call it. Mostly because I did not agree with a lot of the rules on there. So technically I cannot charge for an actual massage anymore. But I love helping people learn to listen to their bodies. That is my passion, of getting people to give themselves permission to just coexist. And let's see if I can get rid of that glare. That help a little bit? I just moved there. Sorry. It is a film camera. Oh, since I lost most of my audience, maybe I will just go back to listening to myself instead of talking. So I saw this really cool technique. I don't know if I agree with it, but they said that if you want to be able to lean down and touch your toes, that you grab your legs, squeeze as tight as you can, pulling yourself up into it, and then slowly working your way down. Let's see if this works. And I imagine that you need to do a little bit of wiggle to get down there. And supposedly it makes it a little bit easier to touch your toes. If you go to my Facebook page, we have a Facebook krineteagle familia. So if you go into Facebook, I love to post all the cool videos that I find on different types of body mechanics. I love being inspired by other therapists, other massage body workers, other yoga people, Pilates. They have a lot of amazing insight. So I post my favorites that I come across and I go, ooh, this is really cool. I think other people should come across it. So highly recommend our Facebook page. And if it helps you at all, then I hope that you will send a donation to our family. We are, instead of asking for people straight outright, I am trying to offer services in place of it. And that's actually a poll that I would really like to know is for $5, instead of just donating $5 to us, which I would appreciate if anybody does just donate $5, because we are struggling to get back on our feet after having lost our home and all this blah blah stuff, victims this and victim that stuff, and all this stuff that we lost. But so yes, any $5 you have would be amazing. But instead of just giving it to me, which hopefully would make you feel good to just give us the money, but what service would you like? What way would you like if you could just purchase a service for $5 or $10 or $15, or preferably $25 is a minimum that I would prefer to meet up with anybody for a quick small Zoom call or a quick phone call. Although I do have a pay-by-the-minute phone call, the phone number that you see scrolling down below. And if you ever decide to call that one does require where your credit card is approved. I think it requires your credit card to be approved for $150, even if you only spend $3. The fact that I have a calls limited, I think it's like a 2-hour limit or something, and so it charges, it checks to see if you have enough money to pay for 2 hours, but then you only get charged by the minute. I think that's how it works. So I hope people will call that, and you have to get in order for me to call you back, if I don't see the phone call right away, I can call you back if your credit card is approved and if your number isn't private. And I'll see the number and it says credit card approved, and it will give me the option to call you back. And so I'll try to call you back if that happens. Please do not bother to call that phone number unless you have enough money in your credit card, because every time you call, I do get charged. Let's see, maybe I should do this where y'all can see my attempt to touch my toes. Ooh, see, tickle. Oh. I am determined. I am determined to get flexible again, slowly. It's. I was reading this, or listening to a Mind Valley. I don't know if anybody on here is on Mind Valley. A lot of cool things, highly recommend them. Anyways, I was listening to this professor on axiology? No. Oh, I'm going to have to learn the term that he used. But it was the study of values. What do you value in your life? And his claim, I think, was that what you value may not think you know, what you think you know you value may not be what you actually value. So, for example, people claim they value money, but the claim I think that he had was that's just a fantasy if you don't have the money. So if you think you value money but you don't actually have any money, then that isn't what you necessarily value. And so the way to find out what you value was really cool. One was to look around your space, the space where you hang out the most, and find what things are closest to you in that space. Is it a book? Is it your phone, most likely, because we live in the culture, your computer, your drinking the water? Is there a particular necklace that's valuable to you? What in your space, what people are around you the most? Because his claim, I think, if I understood correctly, was that what you have around you is the first trick to find out what you value. And then where you put your time and energy. And so, like, what would you like in your life? And what do you have evidence for in your life? So, for example, I value body-mind mechanics. And what evidence of it is the little bits of time where I do bother to stretch and check in with myself. But if, like for the past, when I was claiming I valued body-mind, but then I wasn't checking in, then his claim, I think, was that I did not value it at that time because I wasn't bothering to check in with myself. So there's one thing to say what you value, and there's one thing to, what does the evidence show that you value? Your intrinsic things that you value. So I love in the comments, oh, you know, I just realized I don't know if people are commenting because I don't actually have yes, I didn't have the comments section turned on. There we go. So what do you value? I'd love to have in your comments what you think you value. And so if you claim you have money, what evidence shows that that is what you value? Are you doing steps to go out and make money? That's an interesting thought, because I feel like I'm valuing money over other things, and yet right now I'm probably one of the poorest in my life. And having great difficulty getting the clients right now because I keep blocking it from happening. I have very picky requirements now for clients. Like before, it was just like, just show up at the house. And now I have very picky requirements. One, the clients I'm looking for are the people who don't mind being recorded, don't mind listening to their body in such a way where they don't mind the camera on them. They can't be camera phobes. They have to be able to have my family around. I'm very picky now about the people that I will accept as a client. And then what is it that I'm offering? Is it just the rent-a-family or just the company, or is it where it's actual services of healing your body? So this is my theory of what I offer. I believe that I'm offering a chance to come and not feel lonely anymore, to solve your loneliness issues, but it's also a chance to learn to be inspired to listen to yourself, if you're willing to do that, the body-mind section. Or we also offer services in food foresting, where we've got a lot of knowledge in food forests. If you want your own garden, we have this firm belief that everybody should have a garden. But I don't really know how to market myself, so if anybody wants to trade that for time services, maybe I could do a trade. put you on the podcast, put you on a live with me. We'll hold a conversation. Do you know what I would really like to know? Anybody who comes on these lives, I'd very much like to know, what is the thing that you do a living? What do you define yourself as? Are you a teacher? Are you a baker? Are you a fireman? How do you label yourself? Like, I like to think of myself as a body-mind listener because I love human behavior. I love body mechanics. I'm going to practice a squat. So many places around the world, squats are easy. Americans, we don't know how to squat. Most of us have no idea. In fact, I actually triggered a sciatica experience for a month once, trying to figure out how to squat. I was trying to do a frog motion, and my psoas was too tight for it. So, as you can see right now, look, my heels don't go to the ground. Oh, did you see the kitty? She did one of her stretches, we just missed it. I love it when she stretches. She goes, oh, actually, that's really hard for me to do right now. Huh. So how can I be a consultant if I am so out of shape and I haven't listened to myself in it? Well, the knowledge is locked up in my brain. And so really what I want is people who want to join me on the journey of re-listening to oneself. And somebody who wants to take that journey maybe themselves, or maybe just wants to watch me go on this journey. Oh. So I got myself into a squat, finally. My heels are down. But now the trick is, can we get back up? And if you are somebody who can get back up easily, please put in the comments says, I can get up easily. And they laugh at me and say how out of shape I must be if I can't get back up. And then if there's others of you who can't get back up either, then I want empathy, and I want you to share in the comments and say, yeah, I can't get back up either. So I'm going to do a rocky motion to see if I can get myself back up. 1, 2. Oh yeah, using those muscles. Oh, I did it. Ah, okay, back down. So they say one of the things to find out if you're going to live a long time is whether or not you can get up unassisted. Going from a sitting to a standing position. Look, I did it, folks, yay. Oh my goodness. And then I see where I'm tweaking, so. So I have a very tight right psoas. And when you're getting started again, that's one thing I do know as a body-mind therapist is the importance of going slow and listening. Ooh, you know something I'm tempted? Mom's not quite watching right now. She gets wigged out if I do things like this, so we're going to do this right now if she's not watching. I don't like to put cortisol in her body, so I don't like to do things in front of her that wig her out. I don't even know if I can do this. I'm going to see if I can put my feet up on the wall. You know what? I may not be able to do that right now. I may not be at a state where I can do that. Let's see. Oh, oops, Mom's watching. Yes, you can finish that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. It's so funny. I may be 50 years old, but because I'm taking care of Mom full time, I might as well be a teenager, 17 years old again, or 12 years old again. Sometimes it's so hard not to get into a willpower fight with her because in her old age, she's becoming more bossy. And I love her, but it does trigger my rebelliousness, and it's so hard to, even though I'm 50 years old, can you believe I'm 50? To not act like a teenager or a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old and be just a mindful adult and be forgiving and loving and recognize that she's in pain and confused and scared by the world. I don't know how many of you guys are caretakers of an elderly, or even somebody just who's disabled. The elderly are fun, especially when they have dementia, and it's fun, but it's scary and it's sad to watch them slowly disappear. So that's the other thing I want to work on, this arch. There are these people who can do these arches on their backs, and I find that just so impressive. Just people who can fold backwards. I'm going to figure out, that's on my bucket list. I'm going to figure out how to, oh, sorry, kitty. I just destroyed a kitty right there. She's like, what's going on? Go ahead, put your head back down. Hi. Aww. She's beautiful. If you ever want to know how to body mind listen, just watch the cat. They are such great examples. Okay. I'm going to try, see, just even, like I have my brain tells me, oh, it should be just really easy, just reach back and reach the ankles, right? Yeah, I don't know about this concept. I find it such a joke. Yeah, maybe I should start with the back. Just leaning myself back against the wall. Let's do this so you guys can see how embarrassing this is for me. Hi, kitty. I think it's much more fun to watch the cat. If you're not used to stretching that way, it is not easy. I'm sure I doubt anybody who can actually do this is watching me, unless they're laughing at me. And I am very tight on my right side. Start in this direction. You know, they make it look so simple to just climb up the wall. Oh, yeah. There we go.
Oh my God, be careful.
Yeah, I'm trying to be careful. Wow. I can feel this in my lower back.
How do I take a picture of these?
Huh?
How do I take a picture of these? how to do it.
That's okay. Eagle will do it. I could do it again later.
This is new to me.
Yeah. Now, if you have high blood pressure, or if you have it where you are, then something to be very careful about is going upside down, because it is actually a contraindication if you have high blood pressure to put all the blood in your head. I have heard of stories of people who have gotten strokes or had heart attacks from that. And I do have high blood pressure, so it is probably quite dangerous for me to become determined to be able to do some of these yoga stances. Now there are diet changes that I could make, which sometimes I am mindful of doing. One, cutting out all sugar. Cutting out all salt, or a lot of salt. Although there's some places where you want more salt. Turmeric, garlic. Although with garlic, if you are taking blood pressure medicine, you could actually cause yourself to have a stroke from, because it's vitamin E and garlic are blood thinners. Although do your own research, find out. So one of the things that when I was looking for diet stuff of what food I wanted to eat, I was like, what are the things that are contraindicated if you were taking on blood thinners? And so I started looking into those like turmeric, garlic, a lot of the seasonings from other countries. I'm staying in this stretch because I feel tightness in my back, and whenever I feel tightness or sore spots, then I like to hold it and just give it loving in those spots. So for me, I have a very tight right back. Hi, Mama. Do you want to come do this with me?
Huh?
Do you want to come do this with me?
No.
No?
Just watch you at a distance.
Something I've been seeing in the yogas, like you go to my Facebook page, you'll see that I have a lot of people who can do a handstand on their arms. I want to do that. It sounds so cool. Cat cow. This shirt is way too see-through. Now, something I'm curious about. Are people really no longer commenting, or did the comments section no longer work? So what did I do before? Oh, I did this one. So let's do the other leg.
Careful.
Yeah.
Please be careful.
Hi, Katie. So it's much more fun to watch people who are already proficient in this. But I hope that my being unproficient inspires other people to maybe want to try themselves. Probably not in front of a camera necessarily, although if you don't mind being in front of a camera, you can hang out with me and we'll do on a Zoom. And just go slowly and just practice. Just somebody else who wants to get going and learning their body and just wants some company doing it. That is what my service is keeping people company with a little bit of knowledge that I have to help. I mean, that's really what a coach is. I'm supposed to sell you on, I will make it so that you are transformed. And I can. I actually do guarantee that if you were to let me help you learn how to listen to your body, you would become transformed into, because that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a journey together of transforming ourselves into our goals. And even if I don't succeed, I'll cheer you on for you to succeed. Good morning, folks. Hi, kitty. Meow. Hi, baby. Are you hungry again? Yeah. I don't have a kitty who's very friendly. I like to get the fur off the bottom of her belly. She's got all this fur. What time to feed you? I learned recently that cats, that apparently what the biggest killer of cats is their kidneys failing. And that dry cat food is apparently one of the worst things you can give them, because it apparently has tons of phosphates or something, and then it sucks out all of their moisture. They're researching how to help cats survive kidney failures or not have kidney failures. If anybody has foods they recommend for their kitty cat, or if anybody experienced this with their own kitty, I would love for people to share that in their comments. I really wish people would interact a little bit more in the comments section of questions that I asked. So I am looking for people who will either comment in the comments section and or who will do a Zoom call. So I think I am done checking in with myself right now. I think I'm going to go listen to some of my own some of my own things that might help me, and then I can share the information with you later when I learn it. I guess I will wait until the cat is done and ready to come in, because I know she said she was hungry. Yeah, are you ready? Yeah. Can we go in? Yeah, let's go in and feed you. Can we go in and feed you? Yeah, you're ready to eat? Yeah, I think I'm ready to come in too. Most of the people around here are not here. Okay. Yeah. I love you too, kitty. I love you too, world, and I hope you will subscribe, and or most especially I hope one of you guys will call us on that phone number or set up a Zoom call. So much love. I'm going to give a big hug and so grateful, and I hope you guys have a beautiful morning or day or whatever time of day it is for you. And just so much love. Squish. May we all be conduits of love, affection, acceptance, allowing, and appreciation of the world around us. Talk to you later. Yeah, I'm inside now. Wait, let me